I call the member for Fairfax.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. It feels quite odd, Deputy Speaker, to be standing here tonight and rising in the chamber to actually give credit to the Australian Workers' Union and to the CFMEU. And I'm happy to do so, and I thank those opposite for saying here. You have to give credit where it's due, and in this case, Deputy Speaker, it's because the Labor Party is rudderless at the moment. They don't have leadership when it comes to energy policy and climate change. And that is why the AEWU and the CFMEU have been brave enough to raise their voice, because they know that the rank and file of the Labor movement are not being heard by those opposite who sit in this chamber, an elite mob who have joined hands with those pixies at the bottom of the garden, the Greens, who love to dance and run for the high moral ground without substance. And so the AWU and the CFMEU Victoria branch have taken a stance that I agree with, and that is they have said that if we are indeed to try to lower emissions in this country, we need to at least assess and consider the possibility of nuclear technology, in particular small modular reactors. Now, they're dead right, Deputy Speaker. They are dead right. Now, the reason the Labor movement is having to voice this opinion is because the Labor leadership are void of that leadership. They are very happy to come out and talk about a 2050 net zero emissions target, and they're happy to try to grab that headline, Deputy Speaker, but they do so without any plan whatsoever. They are shrill in their opposition to even consider the possibility of nuclear technology, despite the fact that it is a technology that generates over 11% of electricity across the globe today. They are more than happy to try and take the high moral ground and talk about the threat of climate change and how climate change is a threat to life as we know it, an existential threat. And yet they refuse to even consider the possibility of the cleanest form of industrial energy the world has ever seen. Not even prepared to consider it, Deputy Speaker. Now, no one on this side of the House, myself included, is suggesting that nuclear technology, not even small modular reactors, are an absolute certainty for this country. Nobody's suggesting that. What we are suggesting is that this new and emerging technology should at least be assessed, should at least be considered as part of our future energy mix. Yet the Labor Party leadership, who proclaim to be the champions of reducing emissions, blatantly refuse to even consider it. It is rank hypocrisy of the highest order, Deputy Speaker. And how they can look their constituents in the eyes and actually say they care about reducing emissions and climate change, and in the very same breath refuse to even consider new and emerging nuclear technologies, is an absolute joke, and they need to be called out for it, Deputy Speaker. And so the AWU, the CFMEU, they are now the shining lights. There is at least a possibility that we might have the sensible debate in this country that the Australian people deserve. Now, we can come up with a 2050 target, as Labor has with a zero plan. We've all read that book, we know how it ends, and here we have it again, the Return 2.0, with zero substance. But what we have when it comes to the nuclear debate is evidence of rank hypocrisy, and unless they change their tune and listen at least to their own rank and file, then Australia will be the losers. And that is something we all have to fight against.
I call the